Welcome to another episode of the Monkeyin Around Marketing Tips. I am your host, Will Crabtree. My co-host today is Mr. Terry Yannick, the Director of Operations at Tampa Media and the man with the plan. Ultimately, my right-hand man. And then Miss Deborah Corn.
Yay!
Deborah Corn is the Intergalactic Ambassador of the Printerverse. Also my co-host on the Printer Chat podcast. And today's topic is going to be print or printing. We're going to just generally talk about why it's important and why you need to incorporate it into your marketing strategies.
Yep.
So, Terry, you've been working in printing for quite some time. What do you think?
Do it. Print, right? That's it, right? And there's a lot of conversation has been over the years about getting away from print and everything's going digital and digital this and digital business cards. There's no replacement for print, right? So I'll just throw an example out there, right? We wrapped my car a few months ago. We threw, I didn't want like a really loud advertisement. So like we did this really cool black wrap and then took black reflective vinyl and put the Tampa Media logo across the side, right? So, you know, there's advertisement going on, but it's not like really loud. Just in case I'm out driving, you know, kind of like a lunatic. It's hot outside, right? But this is the key is at least once a day I get asked about my car. Mm-hmm. Who wrapped it? Where'd you get it wrapped? How do I get it wrapped? Who's Tampa Media? Things like that. So in addition to having my car wrapped inside the center console, I've got business cards, right? And then behind the passenger seat, I've got like rack cards with some of the things that we can do for people. And right there, everywhere I go, I can reach customers potentially, right?
100%.
So, you know, that was just like a quick, very easy, very effective set of print jobs, right? That we could put into play that immediately make me just, you know, a walking advertisement everywhere I go, or driving advertisement, as it were.
Right.
Right. And that's the thing is like you can do very basic stuff, right? Like spot graphics. I've seen spot graphics be very effective.
Car magnets, man. Now, be careful with that because a lot of cars are made out of aluminum nowadays. But
did you know that?
Still put a sticker on it.
I want to say it's the F-150.
F-150 Raptor. The F-150 Raptor.
The F-150 Raptor.
There's a new. I think there's a Toyota now that's made out of aluminum too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
So we trained our people, right? We gave them business card magnets, and we said, hey, if somebody's asking about a magnet for their car, go out and throw this on there and see if it sticks, right? So, you know, very easy test. Just stick a magnet to the car. It's going to fall off. But everything from spot graphics all the way up to, you know, the full wraps, I think the biggest mistake people make is not utilizing their vehicle.
What's the statistic on the number of eyeballs that are seen by a wrap in a day? Like the number of impressions that you get.
Well, it depends on your market, right?
Right.
Obviously, there are several factors, right? We actually did some jobs for a company that had this data, right? They had gone in and done the surveys, and what they were doing was getting, you know, people to volunteer their car. Well, not volunteer; they would pay them for it, but the you know, just regular person, not an employee of any company, would bring their car in. We would wrap it with this company's client's graphics. And when I got to talking to the people about how much are you getting paid for this, right? Because we didn't know that. Mm-hmm. They all said different numbers, right? And I was like, okay, is this a negotiation thing or not? So I asked some more questions, right? And it turns out it's all based on what time are they driving to work? What's their route to and from work?
Interesting.
What are they doing in their personal time, right? So this company's like, this is intelligent, right? This is very intelligent marketing on their end because they're able to estimate the impressions that they're getting for their clients' graphics based on the driver's behavior.
So that, I mean, that's super, super granular. I've read something that's just kind of blanket that it's between like 30 and 80,000 impressions a day, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, all of those factors vary. How far do you drive? How much do you drive? Mm-hmm. If you're in your vehicle all day long, if you're a tradesperson and you go from place to place, you have to wrap. You have to do it. Your vehicle is seen by so many people, and it's a showcase of you in front of your jobs, right? It's a billboard in front of your jobs. Yep. You have to do it.
It's a mobile billboard.
Yes.
And speaking of impressions, I just pulled into the parking lot and I spent 5 minutes looking at your car. And I'm in the printing industry. And I was like, oh my God,
How
this
cool
is
is
so
that?
cool. I guess it's like the murder black, they call that.
So
on
we
the,
did the murdered out
Yeah.
look, right? So we tinted the headlights, tinted the taillights. We did a chrome delete with matte black vinyl. But where I went a little crazy on this one, right? A year ago, it was just matte black, right? And I said, you know what, we need to do something more with this. I was getting asked about the matte black, but all they're seeing is that car looks cool wrapped. Right?
Yeah, I've actually seen this as a trend. Weren't we somewhere where we saw a car wrapped purple? No, I was in a conference and there was like a Ferrari or something, and it was wrapped like metallic purple.
Oh yeah.
And I
Such a beautiful car.
thought it was painted, and of course I'm with printing industry people, and they're always like, Deborah Corn, what is wrong with you? This is a wrap, but it was
The wrap
so
snobs.
it was so pristine that you didn't think it was that, and then of course it opened up all the possibilities. But going back to what you said about, walking the walk and talk the talk, you wrap your car because this is an effective way to, tell people that your business is out there, which is what it's all about. I refer to vehicle wraps as mobile billboards. You've gone a step further. We're also made it a mobile office and a mobile sales distribution hub, right?
Yep.
So, William, you should come up with packages like, everything you need to discuss about what you do if somebody stops you about your vehicle wrap. I also want to say that I hired the company that cleans my apartment based on a vehicle wrap.
Yep.
Because I didn't know any companies. I didn't want to go with like a chain situation. And there was a local small business who wasn't a van, it was their regular car, and they just had a little decal about a cleaning service. I took a photo of it. I went home and I called them, and I've been working with them for 3 years. So
Nice.
it is effective.
3 years, they do a good job?
Yeah.
Can you give me their number?
Yes.
'Cause we have so much problems with cleaning people.
No, I do. I can. They have a 49-point checklist.
And see, folks, look, wrap, referral,
Yeah.
business, right?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
how it works. That's how it
100%.
works.
1,000%. The other thing I want to, say is that, you started off this podcast by saying, printing. People should do printing,
Right.
And what I would change that to is that people should invest in communication channels that are the most effective for their business.
100%.
And print is one of them. And why it is one of the most effective channels at this moment in time, security, right? Digital marketing, we love digital marketing. It all works together. But digital marketing has gone to the criminal end of things with many, many situations. I'm actually getting intelligence from my utilities and my loyalty programs and my credit cards now on how to spot all the fake stuff because you're being inundated with it.
Oh, yeah.
So if we look at print as a security device, hi all my customers out there, I know we've been sending you emails and newsletters and you're not clicking on links anymore. We totally get it. Here's a QR code. This is a safe way to scan over and securely get on our mailing list. It's a safe way to securely communicate with our customer communication department. It's a secure way to make your online payment. If you scan this QR code, it'll get you a secret phone number and you know it's us. So there's a real challenge now, I think, with all the noise in the digital space.
Noise, I love
which
it.
makes
Exactly what I was going to say.
printing the most effective way to reach somebody at the moment and
It
then
is.
move them to your online assets. If we sort of shifted the last 7 years or so, and the pandemic certainly pushed that even further. But because of all that online traffic and because of that shift, all of those people, all those scammers, hackers, and everything were like, fish in a freaking worldwide barrel right now. And it's only gotten worse.
And the effectiveness boomeranged is what
yeah,
it is.
it's 100%.
Right? We've seen that. We've seen that in many different ways, right? One of the things that you just mentioned is the combination of efforts, right?
Exactly.
So I don't think a single communication channel works for any business.
Never.
No way.
If you're relying on, and I did this, right? So I don't even know if you know this story. In 2010, I decided to be a massage therapist. I went to school,
Didn't know that.
graduated, right? Like I was, I was like
Of
the
course.
the best massage therapist in the class, right? Did all that. And I go out to open my business, and people were like, "How are you going to do that?" And I was like, "My sphere of influence is huge, right? I'm going to get business. Nothing, right?" So then I went to print, right? Printed up a ton of collateral, went around handing it out, nothing. And what I would later learn, I think when we started working together, it became even more crystal clear, was that I needed multiple avenues that I was able to communicate with my target audience through. So one of the really cool things, and just throw an example out there, right? Something tangible. So you've got your digital following. They're following you on social media. You're engaging with them via email, whatever the case may be. How are you following up with them beyond that to catch them when they're not looking at a screen? I love two of the post office products, right? Do a direct mailer, right? Do a bulk mailer, save on postage, reach everybody. With that one, you know exactly who you're reaching. You can tailor your message for them. If you're running a campaign where you're just focused on a geographic area, perfect. You have an even better product, in my opinion, with every door direct mail, where your cost goes way down. Again, you can tailor the advertisement for that and reach them in different channels so that you're top of mind, right? So when the cleaning company, when I look in the corner of the kitchen and I'm like, I don't even know how to sweep that out.
Right.
What do I do? Who am I
Right.
going to call? I see their vehicle because they're in my neighborhood, right? Maybe followed them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And now I've got something in the mail. That's a done deal, right? At that point, it's pretty much a done
Yeah,
deal for
but
me.
the point I want every business owner out there to hear is that if I get that touch point from you and it's in my mailbox, so I'm going to see it, then give me the next step to connect with you. Whether it is a QR code or a personal URL, that printed product, which is what it is, that that business card, whatever it is, it's a promotion about your business is now in my house, it's 100%. In my hands. Let me know. Scan this QR code to get on our mailing list. Scan this QR code if you want to hear more about the trip to South America or buying the RV or going to getting a car wash loyalty card, whatever it might be. I feel it's a way to start a secure relationship right now, and it is not the only thing. So, for example, if I get let's just say I'm going to stick with vacations for a moment because summer's coming up and people are starting to plan what they're going to do in August or whatever. And let's just say they want to take a driving vacation and one of the car companies wants to say take our car on a vacation. There's room for everybody, because people are still doing car vacations. Scan this QR code and we'll help you map out your, you just give us where you're starting, where you're going, and we'll give you 10 things you can do along the way on that route and send it with print. And work with if you're a printer and you get involved with this, give them some sort of incentive to upload their photos, to create a photo book or anything like that. And let them know, watch out for your inbox. We will be following up with, other information about this, videos, connect with us on social media. So it becomes the hub of communication to all these different channels. It doesn't start or end with print, but I think that print is the alpha and omega of the whole conversation.
It's the conversation starter, right? Print is what initiates the initial contact, and you have to have your channels and your funnel set appropriately.
It gets in your door without your permission.
You get there, you get it no matter what, right?
Right? You don't opt into that postcard. You know what I'm saying? Where
you don't opt into a lot of the ads that you see nowadays too.
You can say it's junk mail, quote unquote, and
Right.
stick it in the garbage pail. And to me, junk mail is the wrong message at the wrong time for the wrong person.
It is, exactly.
Well, the same thing is happening digitally. Me and one of our employees were having a conversation about a specific piece of software we've never talked about before, right? In my opinion, the software is antiquated. I have no interest in it. We need it for one specific thing. So we had a conversation about it, and 2 days later, guess what all my ads are?
That software.
That software.
Yeah.
I didn't Google that software. I didn't send an email about that software.
They're
Nothing.
listening.
We just
They're
talked,
listening.
and now there it is, right? And you know, there's the monster where like it's the primary, location where you're going to see those ads out there. But then it like crept in to like other ad zones across the internet.
There was no search on the internet
Not
for
one.
anything? Okay, that's a little weird.
Oh, it happens
Usually-
all the time.
So,
Well,
can we
and this
throw
is-
them out there, right? Like, look, it's Facebook, right? Facebook is listening to everything you talk about, right?
I don't go on Facebook.
This has been going on for years and years
They
and
are.
years,
Yeah.
right? But you can use that to your advantage. But nonetheless, right, like what you're saying, I love that idea that printing is a way that you can reach your target audience without consent, without a previous conversation or anything.
Right.
You can spark the interest.
Right.
Start it.
Right that in there.
Now, the most important part of that is if it's relevant to the person you send to it, it's marketing mail. It's something that they care
Right.
about.
And that's
If
where
it's
demographics
just
and targeting-
spray and pray, then no. To me, it's a waste of marketing budgets. Do create a mobile office instead and drive around. Park somewhere. If you're a printer, park somewhere where designers go to lunch. Be strictly. There's the Sarasota Ringling Art School around here. Drive around there. There's plenty of ways to be strategic about all of this stuff. But print will get you noticed. Right now, my morning regimen with my coffee is deleting all my spam email and joyfully marking people as spammers.
I like
Love
that.
it.
Spammer,
like that.
spammer,
So,
report.
I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said the noise, right? So this is something that I've been talking about a lot lately, is that digital is getting so heavy and we're inundated. Everything that we look at on our device, we're being constantly saturated with ads. Everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, we're constantly being saturated with marketing. So how do you stand out in that environment? And I think it comes back to doing a little bit of guerrilla marketing, right? So being reps, being a mobile office, going to where your customers are at, right? And print is probably one of the easiest ways to do that. Guys, this has been amazing. It's been awesome having you both. Deborah, I love having you on the
Thank
podcast.
you.
It's always good to
Anytime.
talk to you. This was the
Yay.
perfect topic to have you on. And for those of you guys listening at home, please subscribe. Please follow us on all the social media channels. You can find us at Gorilla Gurus. And thank you and have a wonderful day.
Awesome.